pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Dr. Fike? Here. Mr. Friend?
Here.
Mrs. Geyer? Here. Mr. Lizza?
Here.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Here.
Mr. Pelikoski?
Here.
Mr. Shipley?
Here.
Mrs. Smith?
Here.
Mrs. Williams?
Here. I just want to make two announcements. Number one is Mrs. Smith is joining us via Zoom, as well as Mrs. Zundel, our solicitor. And we were in executive session prior to this for personnel and legal matters. Are there any citizens' comments?
I did not have any.
SEIU contract?
The board is asked to approve the SEIU contract ratified by the association members on March 7th, 2022.
I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Fike?
Yes.
Mr. Friend?
Yes.
Mrs. Geyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lizza?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Pelikoski?
Yes.
Mr. Shipley?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith? Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Motion carries 9-all.
ELA and math high school interventionist positions.
Board is asked to authorize administration to repost and advertise again for the high school ELA and math interventionist positions.
Need a motion?
So move.
Need a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Why are we having to repost? We didn't have anybody.
So it was my understanding, in speaking with Dr. Clara, who is not available this evening, that we did not have anybody that they felt would work for ELA, and therefore we were going to need to re-advertise.
Okay.
The math interventionist position we discussed last time, where there may be somebody, but we're not sure about the credentials, and I suggested to him if we were advertising for one, advertise for both of them, rather than have to pay to re-advertise again and again. Is there any other discussion on this? Roll call.
Mr. Friend?
Yes.
Mrs. Geyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lizza?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Pelikoski?
Yes.
Mr. Shipley?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Dr. Fike?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Motion carries 9-all.
I do have one question for Mrs. Zundel. When we have already voted to advertise for a position and there isn't anybody that we find to be qualified, do we have to vote to re-advertise, or can a decision just be made to re-advertise?
I would recommend that you vote to re-advertise for the reasons that you just went over, that there was a rationale behind not filling a position, and this is going to prompt another advertisement to go out.
Okay, thank you. Food service director job description.
The board is asked to approve the attached job description for the food service director.
I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion.
Didn't we vote on one of these on January 20th? Why are we voting on it again?
Did we actually vote on the job description?
Never
I
had.
looked back in the minutes.
Mrs. Guy, if I may say something. It was voted upon the month that you accepted, formalized my retirement, but I think there were some things about certain specifications, like weight limits and walking and things that were added to it.
So this is just an update.
Yes.
Okay, so then I have some questions. Why did we make this a 12-month position?
In order to get all the work done that's required, a lot of work that is involved over the summer, such as planning your menus, purchasing, updating your HACCP manuals. 2 weeks before school starts is definitely not enough time to do all that. Now, also with the pandemic and all the supply chain issues going on, you need to start ordering in advance because sometimes there's a 6-week lag on products. There's very, very few food service directors that work 10 months out of the year.
Michelle, doesn't this include the summer feeding program too?
If they do the summer program, it includes summer program as well, that you would be here for that.
Michelle, could you repeat what she said? Because we're not on, whoever's on Zoom can't hear what she had
If you're
explained.
speaking from the audience, you're going to probably need to come up and use the microphone. She was just saying that there's a lot of things that need to get done over the summer, different reporting, preparing, that 2 weeks before school starts is not enough time. So I do have a question because this changes some things. Obviously, it's not just a matter of changing, I think the microphone's laying over here maybe. But this would also change benefits. So this would change vacation time, sick day allotment. Does that all come from the food service budget, or does that come from, any part of that come from? Okay, so any vacation payout and such would be coming from from that budget. Okay, thank you.
We don't have this position currently, so wouldn't we have to make this a position? Because we don't have a 12-month food service position.
Correct. That would be correct. So I think we should table this because we don't have the position, create the 12-month position, and then approve the job description then as well.
Does that also change the advertisements that we've put out to advertise for the position?
Were they advertised
I'm
in
not
12 months?
I'm sure we would have advertised it as what we currently have.
Well, if we approved on January 20th, and that description also said 12 months. So I think we advertised after January 20th.
We told everyone.
And both people that we interviewed, we told 12 month. But I did look in the minutes.
Did we vote?
You're right.
Did we vote to make it a position in January?
No,
it was just a description.
we just accepted her resignation, authorized to interview or to advertise, and then approve the job description.
Yeah, this job description it's a little more, I mean, it's the same until you get down to like cognitive abilities, physical demands, work environment, temperament, and all of that. So this is just basically an updated job description. I just didn't know why we had changed it.
I had been attempting to standardize using a similar template through the recommendation of our solicitor. Certain things needed to be added, such as cognitive abilities, physical demands.
Yeah,
So
I pulled them up earlier side by side, like, okay, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same, and then, okay, I saw what you had added, but I just wasn't sure why we had done that.
I was trying to standardize all the job descriptions to make them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I need a motion to table this.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So for the next meeting, we need to create the job and then approve the job description. Posting of policies.
Board has asked authorized administration to post on the district's website for 30 days the updated policies, and they are listed below. They are also in blue, so if you click on them, they'll take you directly to that policy.
I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion.
When it says 30 days, like they'll be off of there in 30 days?
Then we have to bring it back and vote on them to accept them. They're posted for 30 days. Then we have to accept
Oh,
them.
like as in, like we're advertising these are the new okay. I was like, hold up. All right. Okie dokie.
Any other discussion? Mrs. Zundel, since these are just posted, this can be a voice vote.
That is correct.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? High school musical positions?
Board is asked to approve the positions and supplemental salaries for the high school musical. Updated clearances must be on file with the administration. Clearances have to be for employment, not volunteer. You cannot work until clearances are received. Those positions are Sean Conway, class play sponsor, $1,290 per CBA. Amy Gore, class play sponsor, $1,290 per CBA. Sean Conway, director and vocal coach, $1,900 per musical budget. Chelsea Conway, co-producer and artistic director, $2,000 per musical budget. Jamie Gore, co-producer and orchestra director, $1,300 per musical budget. Robin Brady, stage manager, $600 per musical budget. Kaylee Hansberry, choreographer, $1,500 per musical budget. Carrie Detweiler, accompanist and pit musician, piano, $600 per musical budget. Sean Harris, pit musician, drum set, $600 per musical budget. Jim Hennigan, pit musician, trumpet, $600 per musical budget. Stephen Murphy, pit musician, guitar, $600 per musical budget. And Larry Ansel, set construction, $700 per musical budget.
Need a motion?
So moved.
You need a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Is this done every musical? Like, this has always been the way it is? And the majority of these, I would say, probably have clearances and stuff already on file, correct?
Most of them do, if not all, but we always make sure that they have new clearances. And this is done the same as we do with all the sports coaches and everything. We try to, in the spring,
Update
fall,
those.
yes.
Okay.
So we are doing that though before musical practice starts, and I mean, because we shouldn't just be worried about their clearances whenever we're paying them. They've been working with our
That's
kids.
what I was going to
Right,
say.
absolutely.
I would have to say from now on, and this is not the musical's fault, this is ours, this should be approved before they start practicing for the musical, because obviously they've been practicing it in a couple weeks.
Right. I mean, we're about there.
And then, so this will all come out of the musical budget? Okay.
Except for the two that were first there through the collective bargaining association. Those
Okay.
agreements.
Gotcha.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. O'Reilly.
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski.
Yes.
Mr. Shipley.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Dr. Feig.
Yes.
Mr. Frund.
Yes.
Mrs. Geyer.
Yes.
Mr. Lizzo.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Resignation of high school yearbook sponsor.
The board is asked to accept the resignation of Paul Britton, effective as of February 22nd, 2022, as the high school yearbook sponsor. The supplemental stipend will be prorated for the 2021-2022 school year. The board is asked to authorize administration to post the supplemental position at $3,077 prorated for the remainder of the 2021-2022 school year.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Has anything been?
Did he receive the first part of that salary?
He's going to get paid up to the day that he resigned.
Okay.
And then the remainder of that contract would go to whoever is going to fill that position for the remainder of this school year.
Has anything been started on this?
Or is it done?
No, it's not done.
No.
Usually, they don't get their yearbooks until the summer.
But it's been started because he's getting paid, so it must have been started, right?
It's been started. I can't.
What did we go through for our yearbooks to bind them and hardcover them?
Is there any other discussion? Has this been posted already?
No. There's people interested in this.
So then we're not going to be ready next week to appoint anybody to this, because the problem becomes we don't have another meeting then until April. We don't appoint somebody at the next meeting, so if this wasn't advertised, we were supposed to advertise this and vote on this retroactively. We would not have anybody in place until April 21st.
Mrs. Zundel, is it possible to work with the association to get an MOU to limit the time that this is posted?
What specific terms would you be looking for? I mean, we can certainly open up that discussion, Mr. Masha.
Would like to get it on the agenda for next Thursday, if there is anyone interested internally.
I'm sorry, I think that's kind of a waste of our resources to open up a discussion. That's just my opinion, though.
I mean, what are other board members' thoughts on that?
I think if we wait
Get somebody
till
hired right away.
April 21st, that's really late. It's practically over.
Yeah. That's my concern.
So we would be asking the
new person to.
Didn't we get an email that this was posted?
Got an email that, yes, I gave the information and asked if this could be posted and voted on.
So my concern is we're going to be spending the solicitor's time and we're going to be paying her to open up discussions for something that's, I mean, my gracious,
When was it posted?
it's ridiculous.
It was already posted. This was already posted. So this,
Hold on.
we need this motion to be amended.
Peg's getting the date.
So the amendment would just be to accept the resignation.
We need to accept the resignation, and we also need to, it should be in here about posting. We posted this on February 28th.
I'd be happy to volunteer until y'all find somebody.
It's my understanding there are people waiting in the wings.
And that's, I'm right. And that's absolutely fine.
Goes until March 10th.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. If nothing's been done yet, it needs to hurry up
over
and
today.
be done.
Okay, so Mrs. Zundel, we need to amend this motion to include, this was posted already retroactively. We are voting on this, so can you give us some wording for this to amend the motion?
Okay, so what I would suggest is you're going to keep the first sentence the same. The second sentence will remain. And then the board is asked to retroactively authorize posting of the supplemental position at $3,077.
Prorated for the remainder of 2021-2022 school
Correct.
year?
Well,
okay.
Correct.
We're retroactive.
Okay,
Ms.
so-
Farsan, did you happen to write that down?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so who made the motion? The original.
Nobody did yet.
I thought Nicole.
Mrs. O'Rear made the motion, Mrs. Geyer second.
Oh, for the original. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Like,
Okay, so I need a motion to amend the motion.
Move.
I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, so now I need a motion to
Add the word.
advertise
Motion to approve.
post retroactively. If Peggy could read that, that would be great.
The board is asked to accept the resignation of Paul Britton effective February 22nd, 22 as the high school yearbook sponsor. The supplemental stipend is prorated for the 21-22 school year. The board is asked to retroactively authorize administration to post the supplemental position prorated for the remainder of the 21-22 school year.
So I need a motion.
Still doesn't make sense because it's already been posted.
Right, you're retroactively voting.
We never authorized them to post it, so now we are.
We still
Do
have,
everything backwards.
well, not everything.
Well,
I think if we would have
I
waited
mean,
to
here
post
we
it
are.
today,
Yeah, if we would have waited
then-
till today, we wouldn't have had enough time, and then we would be looking at April 21st, which is what I was trying to alleviate.
So,
Can I have a second?
second.
Any other discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
Who's the yearbook sponsor? Who's their supervisor?
That would be Ms. Krofcheck.
who?
Ms. Krofcheck, high school principal.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Why? Why? Does this cost some?
3,007.
Doesn't cost to post, does it?
$3,077.
Stipend is attached to it.
Amy, does this need to be roll call since we're voting retroactively?
Yeah, I do it as a roll call because there is even just a nominal cost with posting.
Cost to post.
Roll call.
Mr. Polakowski,
Yes.
Mr. Shipley,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Dr. Fike,
Yes.
Mr. Frond,
Yes.
Mrs. Geyer,
Yes.
Mr. Lizza,
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear,
I guess, yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Head varsity football coach?
Board is asked to approve the hiring of Tim Bukowski as the next head varsity football coach for the Southmoreland School District at a supplemental salary of $7,670 for the 2022-2023 school year at the recommendation of Dan Boring, Athletic Director.
I need a motion.
So moved?
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Shipley,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Dr. Fike,
Yes.
Mr. Frond,
Yes.
Mrs. Geyer,
Yes.
Mr. Lizza,
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear,
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski,
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Hiring of custodian and day-to-day custodial subs?
Board is asked to approve Rodney Walters as a full-time custodian at a salary, and this is going to need to be amended, at $15.09 per hour. The board is asked to approve Mark Hillen and Mickey Ardabell as day-to-day substitute custodians at an hourly salary of $12.50.
Mrs. Zundel, can we make a motion to amend this before we motion to accept it?
Yes, somebody can move at this point to amend the motion that has just been read to have it read that the salary is $15.39 per hour.
I move to amend the motion to approve to have this date, have the action state, 1539 instead of 1509 per hour.
I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Now I need a motion to approve Rodney Walters as a full-time custodian at a salary of $15.39 per hour. The board is asked to approve Mark Hillen and Mickey Ardabell as day-to-day substitute custodians at an hourly salary of $12.50 an hour. I need a motion.
So move.
I need a
Second.
discussion. Roll call.
Dr. Fike,
Yes.
Mr. Frond,
Yes.
Mrs. Geyer,
Yes.
Mr. Lizza,
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear,
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski,
Yes.
Mr. Shipley,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Salary change to M1 for interventionist.
Board is asked to approve adjusting the salary step of Rachel Sleesman to M1 in a salary of $45,645. Rachel was hired on 2/17/2022 as an interventionist for the primary center at step B1 in a salary of $43,861.
I need a motion.
So moved.
I I need a second. Discussion.
Is that because due to that Pennsylvania statute, like we did on the other? Okay.
Is there a reason why we don't have the proper information when we're making these motions in the first place?
That is a good question, Mrs. Williams.
So I think we need to be more cognizant of hiring them at the proper salary in the first place. So if we can make sure that we know their B1 and M1, that should be information we have on somebody's application. I would imagine that you would put that.
My frustration level is there also.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Friend?
Yes.
Mrs. Geyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lizza?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski?
Yes.
Mr. Shipley?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Dr. Fike?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Motion carries 9-all.
Middle school interventionist, entry level and salary.
At the board meeting of February 17th, 2022, the board hired Sean Harris, middle school math, and Michelle Lowe, middle school ELA, as secondary interventionists. The board is asked to approve Sean Harris at step M1, 45,645, and Michelle Lowe at step B1, 43,861. Step information was not made available at the February 17th, 2022 meeting.
Need a motion?
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Geyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lizza?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski?
Yes.
Mr. Shipley?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Dr. Fike?
Yes.
Mr. Friend?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Motion carries 9-all.
Hiring of cafeteria day-to-day sub.
Board is asked to approve Caitlin Peterman of Scottsdale and Carolyn Philibom of Mount Pleasant as a day-to-day cafeteria substitute. Updated clearances must be on file with administration. Clearances have to be for employment, not volunteer. Cannot work until clearances are received.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Discussion? So, I'm sorry. Do we have their clearances?
I talked to both of them today. They were getting their clearances. They were in the process. The one woman didn't have an appointment until Monday for her fingerprinting, and she would assure me that she would bring her slip on Monday.
Well, that just means she got them. That doesn't mean, like, I'm sorry, I'm not voting unless we have clearances on file. That's
I do
always
not
been.
have them on file, on hand. They are in the process.
I mean, that, we've always said that's been our policy. We tabled a situation last week, or last meeting, basically because of the same thing. We shouldn't be voting on this. I need a motion to table this.
So moved.
I make the motion to table this.
Let me ask one more question, though. Do we have them on one of these people and not on the other, or do we have them on neither?
No, we have them on neither.
So I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So do we have to put a salary in a motion like this?
I would think so, that should be at the...
Could you just say as per contract or something like that?
We could say that, but I think it should be in there that what the salary is. But I think it's more important that we're not putting things like cannot work until, and I mean, we shouldn't be hiring people without knowing that they have proper.
I'm just thinking if this comes up for the next meeting.
Yep. Yeah, we should have a salary in there as well.
Probably the figure in there.
So then we're not voting 2 meetings from then to adjust their salary. Westmoreland County Student Assistance Program.
Board is asked to approve the annual Westmoreland County Student Assistance Program agreement for the 2022-2023 school year.
You need a motion?
So moved.
You need a second?
Second.
Discussion?
I have discussion. Have we looked into yet about some of the suggested places that I mentioned earlier about going through for this kind of stuff? Not saying that we can't also do this, but Mr. Mesh, you had wrote them down last time. Just because I feel when it comes to the high school level, even middle school, I mean, you know, we may need to add some different interventions, I guess you could say.
We are working with the council department and director of pupil services to identify alternative providers.
Is there a charge for this?
No.
That's what I thought.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? WIU budget for fiscal year 7/1/2022 to 6/30/2023.
Board is asked to approve the intermediate unit budget for the 2022-2023 school year.
I need a motion.
I moved.
You need a second.
Second.
Discussion.
I just want to remind the board that the IU has no capacity to raise taxes. All of their money is provided to them through a variety of sources. A little of it is federal, but the rest of it is through specific budgets, largely related to special ed and maintenance and the administration and salaries.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
So where is the budget?
Attached.
Where?
It's attached. Well, let's see, the budget.
Like, when I click on the budget, it just pulls up.
You see the one that's labeled B? I think there's a budget in there. It says total expenditures
Okay, hang on. Let me go back.
on page 6 of 32. There's like an A and a B.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Polakowski.
Yes.
Mr. Shipley.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Dr. Fike.
Yes.
Mr. Friend.
Yes.
Mrs. Geyer.
Yes.
Mr. Lizza.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
I need a motion to end the voting meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need roll call.
Dr. Fike. Mr. Friend.
Here.
Mrs. Geyer.
Here.
Mr. Lizza.
Here.
Mrs. O'Rear.
Here.
Mr. Polakowski.
Here.
Mr. Shipley.
Here.
Mrs. Smith.
Here.
Mrs. Williams.
Here. And again, Mrs. Smith is joining us via Zoom, as well as Mrs. Zundel, our solicitor. Are there any citizens' comments for this portion of the meeting?
No, I have none.
Can I make a comment that it's really cold in here? Can we turn the air conditioner off?
Mr. Basham, is it possible to turn the air down?
Thank you. My hands are frozen.
February 10th, 2022 minutes.
Board will be asked to approve the minutes of the February 10th, 2022 voting discussion meeting.
Discussion. Okay, February 17th, 2022.
Board will be asked to approve the minutes of the February 17th, 2022 voting meeting.
Any discussion? Okay, monthly board treasurer's report.
Board will be asked to approve the treasurer's report for the month of January.
Discussion. General Fund Board Summary Report.
The board will be asked to approve the board summary report for January.
Discussion. Accounting and food service check summary listing.
The Board will be asked to approve the fund accounting and food service check summary listing for February.
Discussion? Budget transfers.
Board will be asked to approve the attached budgetary transfers.
Is there any discussion? Donations in memory of Coach Frederick.
The board will be asked to approve receipt of donations in the amount of $2,245 in the memory of Coach Frederick.
Discussion.
I'd like to make a motion to amend this action to also include where this particular donation is going, into which fund, as it was stated on Coach Frederick's obituary. As it states that it goes into contributions in Coach Frederick's name go to the Southmoreland football program in care of the athletic department.
Mrs. Zundel, do we need a motion to say that, or can we just ask Mr. Masha to put it on the agenda as such next week for voting?
You do not have to have a motion and a vote at this time. It's enough for Mr. Masha to just note Mrs. O'Rear's comment and have the agenda read that way next week.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, appraisal agreement.
Board is asked to approve and will be asked to approve an appraisal agreement in the amount of $8,970 with the Industrial Appraisal Company upon our solicitor's review and approval. The last physical inspection occurred in 2011, and the Industrial Appraisal Company is discouraged by their insurer to carry values past a 5 to 7 year window.
Discussion.
Why are you doing this? What is the purpose of this appraisal?
To get a current estimate of what our value of our resources are.
This is for insurance purposes.
Is it for insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, for insurance. That was what I was wondering.
Did we get prices from other places? Or is this the only choice?
This was, I don't want to throw it back to Mrs. Mondock, but that was all covered by Mrs. Mondock, and we're lost. She's not here tonight.
If I remember correctly, Mrs. Wondok has said, we've actually used their services, I think, for a while without paying them, if I remember correctly, or without paying it correctly. Something along those lines.
I don't think that's this.
That's not this one. Okay.
Is this like a retainer, Vince?
Disregard.
No, this is for the actual appraisal.
You already did the appraisal?
No.
They have not.
No, the last appraisal was done in 2011, and
What's he going to appraise?
He has everything
It
listed.
says all physical buildings and
Everything.
movable equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the last appraisal, Mrs. Tarzan and I looked up, it was to the tune of like 6,900. So it really hasn't gone up
Yeah,
appraisal.
It's just really the physical facilities. That's all they're appraising, are buildings.
It says buildings, fixed equipment, and movable equipment.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, cyber charter expense analysis.
Once again, Mrs. Mondock has made it a practice to supply cyber charter analysis for.
Any discussion on that? Okay, superintendent's information.
Yeah, I have several things. I am honored to announce that Kathy Palagas has been chosen as the recipient of the School Nurse Excellence Award for the Southwest region of Pennsylvania for 2022. Congratulations, Kathy. She has done a wonderful job. This award also entitles her to be eligible for the prestigious National Association of School Nurses 2023 Pennsylvania School Nurse of the Year Award. So I wish her the best of luck in that pursuit, and I thank her. I deeply appreciate everything that she has done for our students and our community and our faculty and staff. So thank you very much, Mrs. Polygus, for all you've done, and it's an honor well deserved.
I agree.
I would also like to recognize that Dr. Dan Clara has been chosen as the WIU 7 Curriculum Council co-chair for the period of March 2022 to March 2023. So I congratulate him on his work. I wanted to report that Mr. Pushkar and I have been working on a very large report. It's the Civil Rights Data Collection Report that will be submitted tomorrow. That has taken a considerable amount of effort on our part to get that done, but I do believe that we will be submitting that tomorrow. We're also, just to give everyone a heads up, we're nearing the PSSA testing window. ELA testing will be on April 25th, 26th, and 27th. Math testing will be on May 2nd and 3rd. And science testing will be on May 4th and 5th. And we're also nearing the Keystone Spring testing window, which is May 16th through the 27th. So just for informational purposes.
What did you say for the second one? You said April 25th, 26th, 27th, right?
Yeah, that would be ELA.
ELA, okay.
And then math is 5.2 and 5.3, May. And then science would be 5.4 and 5.5. And that would be all.
Solicitor information.
We provided our report during executive session. Thank you.
Mrs. Mondock is not here for business manager and transportation director information.
I had one more. I think it's important. We have a new person on staff, and I do believe that he is present with us tonight, Mr. Clue. Would you please come forward just so that everyone could see who you are? This is our new middle school principal, so I welcome him to our district. You have anything you would like to say? I don't want to put you on the spot, but...
Yep. Thank you.
I don't know if it's on or not.
It is now.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to be here and represent Southmoreland. I've been here going on 3 weeks now, and the supportive environment has been great. So I really appreciate everybody's willingness to get Southmoreland Middle School to a place where we want to be moving forward and excelling well beyond that. So thank you, everybody, for that opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you for sending out an introduction to the parents also. I thought that was nice so they all could get to know you also. And Mr. Masha, did we get the website updated that says that he is our principal now? I did email you about that, but you didn't email me back.
I did touch base with Mr. Smith-Bull, and I thought he said that was...
Thank you. I had a parent who didn't know how to contact Mr. Clue because she didn't know his name. So...
I'm sorry, I said my name.
I was talking around you, it's fine, about you. Just that they needed to update the website with your name so that parents could contact you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Fuller.
Administrative assistant job descriptions.
The board will be asked to approve the job descriptions for the administrative assistants. I'd like to thank Mrs. Smith for assisting me in those.
Is there any discussion on those?
Those have to be approved individually or as a whole?
I think we could approve them as a whole.
I'm just checking the item again so that I can advise. You can add them as one motion, and when we go over the agenda next week, Mr. Masha, we can just make sure that the correct language is used to do them as a group.
Okay, thank you.
Elementary principal job descriptions.
The board will be asked to approve the job description for the position of elementary school principal.
Discussion.
Does this also apply to the primary center then? We're using
Yes,
elementaries?
Should we make it state that? Sophomore
It-
school
it-
district job description, elementary and primary center school.
It technically is it's an elementary
It's still,
principal.
okay, okay.
Any other discussion? Director of Special Education job description.
Board will be asked to approve the job description for the position of Director of Special Education.
Discussion.
So when it comes to these things, whatever they are, what is it, a job description, like, I mean, are these based on what our administration is doing or what they need to do, or like where is all of a sudden these job descriptions are coming from?
I've worked with everyone that all these job descriptions, what they currently are doing, and what they should be doing.
Okay.
Michelle, I just wanted to comment, at the IU, when they have blocks of approval, they start by saying, do you want to pull any one of them out? For example, if there were 20 and you wanted to approve 19, you could go ahead with the 19 and pull one out. I don't think anybody will, but they tend to do that with blocks. They use it in blocks for their approval.
Any other discussion there? Okay, remove from the table middle school boys assistant soccer coach.
Middle school boys assistant soccer coach position was tabled at the February 17, 2022 meeting. The Board President will now entertain a motion to take this item from the table and place item on the agenda for the March 17, 2022 meeting.
I need a motion.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
that's okay.
All right. We do have all the proper clearances now, correct? Okay. Middle school boys assistant soccer coach.
The Board will be asked to approve Anthony Liza II as the middle school boys assistant soccer coach at a supplemental salary of $2,553 for the 2022-2023 school year. Updated clearances are on file with the administration.
Retirement of custodial employee number 2823.
The Board will be asked to accept the retirement of custodian employee 2823 effective June 2nd, 2022.
Discussion. Is there a reason why we don't have a name on the person
just gonna-
retiring? I mean, we always have in the past.
Maybe their name is 28.
Yeah, thank you, employee number 2823, for your service.
That would be Wilma Myers.
Okay.
Yeah, I will add that.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Varsity boys assistant soccer coach.
The Board will be asked to approve Chris Pollard as varsity boys assistant soccer coach at a supplemental salary of $3,753 for the 2022-2023 school year.
Any discussion on that? Okay, and then I'm going to need a motion for a 3-minute adjournment for people to call in if they'd like to call in. Is the number still the same? Because I know we did shut. So is it the 2609 or is it 2608?
It's 640-2609.
Okay, so the number to call in is 724-640-2609. Again, it's 724-640-2609. And I need a motion for a 3-minute adjournment.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
It's supposed to snow on Saturday morning. Did you see that? 3 to 5 inches.
We're not getting that fake. No, we are, but I'm still hoping we're not.
Is that the onion snow? They call that the onion snow, maybe. We set our clocks ahead this weekend. Yeah. I'd have never known that if somebody hadn't told me.
Should have that all.
Yeah.
Before we should approve it or.
That makes me mad about the airport.
So that whole system goes through on the back end. Calls. Everybody's everything.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Go ahead, Mrs. Smith.
I just wanted to say, I'm not sure if anyone mentioned, Henry Miller went to Whippeals last week, and he got silver for butterfly and gold for the breaststroke, and he'll be attending states at the end of next week.
Awesome. Congratulations, Henry.
Yep,
It's a huge accomplishment.
Big time.
it is.
And also our wrestling, I just forgot states.
They're at states right
Wednesday.
now.
Or states right now, yeah. So,
Did we have any citizens?
Barry, hey, give me 1 second. I'm going to hold this up to the mic and you're going to be live. Can you hear me? Yeah, I hear you. All right, go ahead and go. Yes.
Is that microphone on? Because I can't really hear.
you want me to hold it?
Give us 1 second.
Go ahead.
Give us 1 second.
Okay.
We're delayed.
Good, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Give us 1 second.
Okay. Okay, I was just calling in to address something that was discussed at the last meeting regarding cooperatives, the PIAA cooperatives for sports programs. And I'd encourage everyone, meaning the school board, to reach out to Coach Boring and understand. There were some comments made in the PIAA, which is the state agency for the sports. They make the decisions on who can co-op with who and why and how. But it's mostly to advocate sports and the students' ability to participate in the sports and competition and that type of thing. It's a very good program. The cooperatives, I want to say that at the last swim meeting, I want to say for Pennsylvania, we had 17 co-ops. And some of the school board members talked about, like, displacing people, or it's not like that. It's to get everyone in the sport. In the case of the swimming, which I'm familiar with, we're a AA school, right? And if we would co-op, say, with another school, half of our student population, which is by PIAA recognition, the 9th, 10th, and 11th grades, would be added to the host school's total count. So, essentially, if we partnered with another AA school, there's some risk if it was big, say Mount Pleasant, they would go to AAA, and that may not be desirable to the school district. But in the case of a AAA school, they could absorb us relatively easily, and it would enable us to participate. I'm going to use swimming as an example because I'm familiar with it, but I want to get more of our kids swimming and participating in that. We had 4 this year, and I want to say they all did a dynamite job. I mean, they all showed marked improvements, and I'm going to be approaching shortly about some co-op opportunities through Coach Boring and through the school board for our school district, and I think it's all for the benefit of the students who may want to swim. And keep in mind, swimming is a sport. Some of the swimmers have the best GPAs in all the sports of school, so they're dedicated kids. And I guess we can't interact on this, but if you had any questions, I'd be happy to answer. If I knew them, or I know Coach Boring will know the answers also.
Does anybody have any questions about that?
That's all I had.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other calls? Okay. I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?